Nuclear power is a dirty technology. It contaminates the community it operates in, and the waste that it doesn't dump on the community, it actually ships to another community, usually poor, rural, minority communities, and this is called environmental racism. And it's the dirty underside of nuclear power. So while nuclear tries to present itself as the answer to global warming and presents itself as clean, this is really just a lie. It's neither clean and it's no answer to global warming. In fact, one of the problems is all of this waste it generates. I was just mentioning what it releases into the environment on a routine and regular basis. So in terms of Vermont Yankee, what it has released over the time of its operations about 400,000 curies. And what it has stored in its fuel pool, and the issue of its fuel pool is very important in terms of the issues of terrorism. Vermont Yankee's fuel pool, which is located 70 feet up in the air outside of containment, is a design that is the most vulnerable to terrorism in the country. If there was a terrorist attack at Vermont Yankee in which the fuel pool was compromised and the fuel caught fire, there wouldn't be an explosion, but what you would have is the fuel pool heating up because the water is used to cool the fuel. With the fuel pool heating up, what you would begin to see happen is a release of radioactive waste and a continual release until the fuel burned up in the pool. We have an expert, Dr. Gordon Thompson, that analyzed that what would happen is 25,000 square miles would be uninhabitable. What we're talking about is Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Hampshire, because in fact, Vermont Yankee is located on the border of the 3 states in Vernon, Vermont. This would be a regional catastrophe in terms of our land. It would also be an economic catastrophe. The Vermont legislature has the power to decide whether Vermont Yankee is relicensed. In New York, Eliot Spitzer, who has just been made governor of the state of New York, is committed to shutting the Indian Point reactor down if Indian Point's power can be replaced, which it can. So there is this potential for a revolution in New England and New York in terms of people becoming involved and making it clear through the democratic process that they don't want nuclear power. So people can be involved, if you're in Vermont, by contacting your legislators and making it clear to them that you don't want Vermont Yankee to be relicensed. You can contact your legislators in Massachusetts and New Hampshire and say you don't want companies like the National Grid buying power from Vermont Yankee anymore. You want their power contracts to be with generating sustainable energy choices, conservation, and energy efficiency. There's a wonderful example of what we can do, and it happened out in California. The Sacramento Municipal Utility District had to shut its local nuke, Rancho Seco, down because of a referendum in which the people said no to it. And in fact, what they supported and what the Sacramento Municipal Utility District did was replace that reactor. And that reactor was in fact larger than Vermont Yankee. They replaced it with solar, wind, biomass. They had small hydro and gas. They brought in energy efficiency and conservation. They took back people's refrigerators and gave them energy compliant refrigerators. They replaced their light bulbs. And this is the 6th largest public utility in America. If they could do it and the people in California could do it, then we could do it. The people in Vermont, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire could replace Vermont Yankee and bring in that diverse package of energy, sustainable choices that can allow us to, in fact, have greater prosperity and jobs. Because at Rancho Seco, when they shut the reactor, they continued to employ the skilled workforce to clean the site up. Nuclear reactors are incredibly dirty sites. There's contamination all over them from all the spills and everything that took place on site, and all the contaminated components that need to be moved off site. It's an enormous job. It's in closure that you realize just what a colossal failure nuclear power is. The Yankee Row reactor, the smallest commercial reactor in America that we helped shut down, cost about $39 million to build in 1960. It is still cleaning itself up. It's now over 15 years that it's in the process of cleaning itself up since we shut it in 1991. And it's costing over $700 million to clean up a $39 million reactor. And that's the price tag. That's what we're going to look at in cleaning up Vermont Yankee. And so those workers can be employed cleaning that site up for decades. They don't have to lose their job. And that waste can sit there until we in fact have a scientifically sound and environmentally just solution to dealing with the waste. Helping by donating to us or giving an hour a week or an hour a month or coming to a demonstration or calling a legislator or writing a letter to the editor. All of these are essential at this point. Talking to a neighbor about what you're concerned about. Making it clear what we can do at this point to change the course of history. This is what is so potential at this moment. And for us to take it from being potential to reality is for us all to work together to make this possible. So join us. Act today to change tomorrow. Contact us, www.nukebusters.org, or call us at 413-339-5781.